It is 9:17 a.m. on Wednesday, the 126th day I'm doing this. Here's your daily dose of hope. And I am just so grateful. Last night, I did what I said I was going to do, and then I ended up having, it's weird to say we because it's just me, but it didn't just happen to me. But anyway, there were several storms, like these kind of intense storms. But I had told myself, right, I had set the intention. I said, do what you can do. So I did turn on the meditation. And that's all I could really do. And I said, the sirens go off, you're going to go into the bathroom downstairs, you know? So the reason I'm smiling is because, you know, I didn't sleep the best. And then I woke up today and I knew I was going to do the live body doubling at 8 a.m. And I was not only tired, but when I share the quote, that's how I felt. And but then I was like, what can you do? And I was actually like, I'll do a meditation. Well, the meditation would have been like half an hour, and I didn't really have that much time. So I said, actually, I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to do like some quick energy work. And then I'm just going to walk the walk and, you know, do what I can. And it was just amazing because I was like working with myself. And I said, well, at least drink a little bit of water, at least have a little bit of, I did have like a half a cup or a quarter cup of coffee before it began. And I just thought, okay. And I'm just so happy because, you know, apparently I helped people, which truly is my heart's desire. So it's just exciting for me whenever I can do that, and not from a place of draining and like I don't really, you know, like this isn't what I actually want to be doing type of thing, but like, oh, this is what I actually want to do, is help people, you know, help the so-called underdogs, you know. And I don't mean that at all in a derogatory way. I just mean like I get it 100%. And I really, like I said, I feel like I've burst out of my cage, at least on some level, and I just want to go around and unlock all the cages and be like, you're free, like it's okay. So it's just, I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to do that and to connect with a couple people and hopefully show them, you know, in real time. I did. The funny thing is, and this is so me, I was nervous, but I was still trying to, like, you know, do it. And so I was like, I even said be careful because I'm a very caring person, but I wasn't careful. So I stood up to do this energy thing and I slammed my hand on the table and I was like, ow! So I just thought that was funny. I was like, well, at least, you know, I'm not, you know, it just made me laugh. But that was a good thing, you know. But we did this thing where I just imagined like part of this is an energy thing I learned, and part of it's just my own stuff, like intuition. But it's like you know, think of your body as a limited energy vessel, like not limited as in limited at one time, like a cup of water, right? You can always refill the cup of water, but the cup only holds so much at a time. And to think of how much other people's energy is filled your cup, right? And so then we did an exercise to release some of that energy that doesn't belong to us in the first place, and, you know, get some of our own actual energy back. And then, you know, I did the timer and everything. So yeah, I'm just so grateful. And what I came up with it during it was I was gonna like plan. I was working on planning, and then I was like, my brain was still just struggling, and I was like, you know what? I need to figure out for myself what for myself feels like a successful day, at least for this summer, at least for the rest of June, you know? And it was like, screw what other people say it should be, right? Like if I'm like, what makes me feel successful? And I came up with these things, and as I was writing them down, I was like smiling, and I'm like, yeah. So I'll just share it with you in case it could help you, because it's always my aim, is potentially helping people. So I wrote down A successful day for me, for the rest of June at least, is if movement's incorporated. So that could be dancing, that could be exercise, that could be yoga, but movement. Learning slash practicing. I really like to be mentally stimulated, so I enjoy that. Drinking at least 80 ounces of water because my cup holds 80 ounces, so that's like my minimum. Taking a shower, checking the bills, so then that part that's alarm that's like, it's like actually for today it's okay. Honoring myself, music, and laughing. And I was like, yeah, it's a pretty. Now I would put connecting, but that's not in my control. And like I said, I'm all about what can you do with just yourself, basically. And not in a way that you're shutting other people out, but that you're not relying on that to feel good. So, and then I put 15 minutes of cleaning as well, because I was like, actually, I do actually want to do that, right? And when I thought about like that kind of capsule of, that seems like a pretty good day, you know? So that made me happy. So today's quote is kind of funny. It says, "Be bold," and it's in all caps. And it says, this is what it says. It says, "You're already screwed. Flaunt it and keep yourself entertained." Okay? And it's a picture of this cat passing by all these guard dogs. Now, I don't agree with "you're already screwed" part, but if that helps you, that's great. But I think of it as the cat is us, right? And the dogs are all the things like the opinions of others, trauma, distraction, inner critic, like everything else but who we really are, right? So these things are trying to prevent us from moving, like from moving forward. But the fact is that even with all this stuff, it doesn't mean this cat doesn't deserve to walk, right? So anyway, that's what I'm all about, is not pretending that obstacles aren't affecting us, but addressing those obstacles and overcoming them. That's why I'm all about overcoming things, not ignoring things, Like I said, optimizing our life to maximize our joy. And so I'm just excited ultimately because I wasn't sure if I could do it this morning. I wasn't feeling good. My brain was feeling scattered, but then I thought, you know what though? And I did have my ring on, but then I think I washed my face, so I took it off. But I told them about the anchor, And the facts are, I don't regret doing it. I'm so grateful I got to do it. And I'm going to do it again, So anyway, I hope this helps in some level. So it's 9:25 a.m. and I was supposed to have a meeting at 9:30, but that's got moved. So now I think I'm going to drink some more water and do one of the things on my list that said it would be a successful day for me. That's what I'm going to do. Because, and I'm going to use my timer actually that I used during the live body doubling. Because I think especially if you weren't safe, if things weren't predictable and stable and just, you can really struggle to conceptualize pockets of time. You're facing, falsities, you're facing fears, you're facing all these things. But when you set a timer and you say, okay, for the next, until the timer goes off, and it has to be a very reasonable amount of time too, but it's like, I'm just going to focus on this for the next however many minutes. You break through that resistance to even start, So anyway, that's what I would encourage you to do, because it really made me smile to say, what would a successful day that's completely within my own control look like? Like what, not even, like I didn't even put them in specific time slots because I'm just starting with what components, And this isn't my ideal life, all that stuff. This is like right now, what would make me feel like tonight if I got these things done? I would have to say that I've experienced some success versus, feeling like I've tried all day, but I haven't actually, I just don't get to enjoy that feeling of success. Um, so, for example, I really want to clean organize my place, as I've talked about. But I need to build that momentum up of, because if I get these things done and then there's still time in the day, I could totally see myself being like, oh, now I can do, more of that. But if I spend, let's say, an hour trying to organize something and I haven't gotten to learn anything the whole day, I know myself and I will feel, I guess it's not just successful, but satisfied. I won't feel satisfied. I like to learn, if you had noticed. I like it a lot and I like sharing what I've learned because I believe that's, for me, that's the point of learning, is to possibly help someone else with what you've learned. So, anyway, I love you guys and I hope you have an awesome day.